You ever put in all the effort? You texted first, you showed up, you paid, you complimented her, you made plans. You did everything a guy is supposed to do. And then somehow, somewhere along the way, she just drifted. She didn't ghost you dramatically. She didn't send you a long message explaining why. She just slowly stopped responding as fast, stopped bringing the same energy, stopped leaning in the way she used to. And you're sitting there replaying every conversation in your head, trying to figure out what you said wrong, what you did wrong, where exactly you lost her. Here's the thing. You probably didn't do anything wrong. Not technically. You followed the playbook. You were kind, you were available, you were interested, but none of that created the one thing that actually keeps a woman emotionally connected to a man. And that thing isn't romance. It isn't effort. It isn't even attraction, not in the way most guys think about it. It's attachment. Emotional attachment. And attachment isn't built through what you do for a woman. It's built through how she feels when she's around you, when she thinks about you, when she remembers a conversation you had 3 days ago at 2 a.m. Attachment is the feeling that makes her reach for her phone and want to text you even when she has no reason to. It's the thing that keeps you in her head when you're not in the room. And bro, most guys spend their whole lives chasing women without ever understanding what actually triggers that feeling. So today, that changes. I'm breaking down 7 things that make women emotionally attached to you. Not clingy, not obsessed in a toxic way, genuinely, deeply attached. The kind where she starts thinking about you differently. The kind where you go from being just some guy she's talking to being the guy she doesn't want to lose. And I'm telling you right now, none of this is about tricks. None of this is about manipulation. This is about understanding how emotional connection actually works and then becoming the kind of man who naturally creates it. Let's get into it. Number 1, you make her feel like she's the only thing in the room when she's talking to you. I need you to understand something about the world we live in right now. Attention is the rarest resource on the planet, more rare than money, more rare than time. Everybody is competing for a piece of someone else's attention every single second of the day. The phone, the notifications, the noise, the feed, the scroll. We live in a world that is specifically designed to pull you away from whatever is in front of you, and most men have surrendered to that completely. You know what this looks like? She's telling you something. Could be something serious, could be something silly, doesn't matter. And while she's talking, you're half listening. Your eyes drift to your phone. Or you're nodding, but your brain is already somewhere else, planning what you're going to say next, thinking about something from work, calculating some other thing entirely. She's talking, and you're physically present, but mentally somewhere across the city. Women notice this, not because they're hypersensitive, because they're human, and every human being can feel the difference between someone who is actually with them and someone who is technically in the same room. Here's what full presence actually looks like. She talks, you listen, not to respond, not to analyze, not to formulate your clever comeback. You listen to understand. You make eye contact that isn't weird or intense, just warm and steady. You let her finish her thought without cutting in. You pick up on the small details, the little things she says in passing that most people would just let slide right by. And then when you respond, she can tell that you actually heard her. Not just the words, the feeling behind the words. That experience, bro, that is an addiction, because almost nobody gives it to her. Her phone doesn't give it to her, social media doesn't give it to her, half the guys she talks to don't give it to her. And then she meets you, and for whatever reason, when she's talking to you, she feels like the only person in the room, like what she's saying actually matters, like you're genuinely interested in her, not just what she looks like or what she can offer you, but actually her. That feeling creates a pull she can't explain. She starts wanting to be around you more because being around you feels different. Being around you feels rare. And here's the interesting part. You don't have to be incredibly charming to do this. You don't have to be funny or interesting or good-looking. You just have to be present, fully, genuinely, uncomplicatedly. And in a world of constant distraction, that alone makes you unforgettable. Practice it. The next time she's talking, put the phone down, not face down, actually away. Look at her. Let her talk. Ask one real follow-up question based on something specific she said. Watch how the energy of the entire conversation shifts. Watch how she leans in a little more, talks a little longer, laughs a little easier. That's presence working in real time. Number 2, you have a life she has to fit into, not a life you rearrange for her. All right, this one is massive, and I know it sounds kind of cold when I say it out loud like that, but stay with me because this might be the most important mindset shift you can make when it comes to building real attraction and real emotional attachment in a woman. Here's the pattern I see constantly. Guy likes a girl shows interest, guy immediately starts restructuring his entire existence around her. He cancels things he had planned, he rearranges his schedule to be available whenever she might want to hang out, he stops making plans with his friends because he wants to keep the weekend open just in case. He starts measuring his days by whether or not she texted him. His mood is good when she's engaged, bad when she's not. His whole emotional center of gravity has quietly and completely shifted from himself to her. And the crazy thing is, he thinks this is what being a good man looks like. He thinks this is what showing a woman you care looks like. And it's not. It's the fastest way to destroy the attraction she felt for you. Here's why. Attachment doesn't form towards things that are freely and endlessly available. Think about anything in your life that you truly value. Access, scarcity, something that required some effort to have. Value is tied to limited availability. And that's not a manipulation tactic, that's just psychology. That's how human beings assign worth to things. When you rearrange your life for a woman, you're still in the early stages of getting to know her. You're communicating something with your behavior, even if you never say a word. You're communicating that she's more important than your goals, your time, your schedule, your existing commitments, your peace. You're communicating that you were just waiting for something to revolve around. And women don't get emotionally attached to men who orbit them. They get emotionally attached to men who have their own orbit and invite her into it. What does this actually look like in real life? You have things you do, goals you're working on, people in your life who matter to you, routines that keep you grounded, habits that you maintain not because they impress her, but because they're genuinely part of who you are. When she comes into the picture, she enriches that life. She adds something. But your life doesn't stop and wait for her. It keeps moving whether she's fully in it or not. And this isn't about being cold or unavailable or playing games where you pretend to be busy. I'm talking about actually being busy, actually having a life with enough substance that fitting someone new into it requires real coordination. Because a man like that has gravitas. A man like that has direction. A man like that is going somewhere. And there is nothing more emotionally magnetic to a woman than a man who is clearly going somewhere, who has a mission that exists completely outside of her, who pursues his purpose without apology and without constantly checking to see if she's watching. She doesn't just want to date you, she wants to be part of what you're building. And you can't create that feeling if you've already emptied your life out and handed her the whole thing before she's even decided how she feels about you. Keep your life full. Keep your purpose sharp. Let her fit in around something that already matters. That's how you become a man worth attaching to. Number 3, you don't react to everything. You respond to what actually deserves a response. Let me paint you a picture. She's in a weird mood one day, gives you shorter replies than usual, seems a little distant, maybe takes an hour or two to text back when normally she responds quickly. And there are 2 types of guys in this situation. Guy 1 feels the energy shift and immediately panics. He starts analyzing everything. Did I say something? Did I do something wrong? Why is she dry? Is she talking to someone else? And then this panic leaks out into his behavior. He sends a bunch of messages trying to figure out what's wrong, or he overcorrects and tries to be extra entertaining, extra funny, extra present, hoping that if he just puts enough good energy into the situation, she'll snap back to normal. He's essentially telling her with every move he makes that her mood has the power to destabilize him, that her emotional state determines his emotional state, that he needs her to be okay for him to be okay. And Guy 2 notices the same shift, and he just keeps being himself. He replies normally. He doesn't change his tone, doesn't increase his effort, doesn't send 3 follow-up messages when she gives him a one-word response. He's calm, not because he doesn't care, but because he understands that people have off days. People have stuff going on. Her mood is hers, his groundedness is his, and those two things don't have to collide. Which guy do you think she thinks about more? Which guy do you think she respects more? Which guy do you think she's more likely to actually open up to when she's ready? Here's the thing. Emotional reactivity is one of the least attractive things a man can display. Not because women don't want you to have emotions. They absolutely do. They want depth, they want feeling, they want realness. But there's a massive difference between having emotions and being controlled by every little shift in someone else's energy. One communicates depth and self-awareness. The other communicates instability and neediness. The man who stays even-keeled when things around him are a little rocky, when the energy is a little